Bundesliga International has partnered with Safe Hub in South Africa to launch the Bundesliga Safe Hub Series, a 4-month fair play tournament series with the aim of creating a safe space for children and young adults to play football and engage with educational and sporting programs. Safe Hub creates places where local partners collaborate so that young people and communities can thrive. Now, this partnership was unveiled last night ahead of Bundesliga's 60th celebrations in Johannesburg. Henning Brinkmann, Bundesliga International head of AVR for Africa, Europe and the Middle East, joins us now to tell us more. Good evening, Henning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks a lot for having me. Thanks for the opportunity.
Just tell us about this partnership and what it means, particularly from Bundesliga's perspective.
Yeah, so I think you have already perfectly introduced what Amantla is doing. So it's a social enterprise that provides safe spaces in the middle of townships so that kids and young adults can have a safe space and enjoy sports, and via the sports they're also attracted and then get schooling classes and all sorts of sports classes, to also learn values like fair play and all these sorts of things that sport is all about. And with that, there's a positive impact created on their life. It's an organization that we are following from the DFL, the German Bundesliga, for a long time already, and it's an inspiration for us. So therefore we thought that we want to provide our platform, because of course the Bundesliga has a wide reach in South Africa, to tell the good stories that they are doing and to actually work with them to get more people into these safe hubs and to grow their model even further than what they're doing already.
And from a football development perspective, as something that we know German football is quite passionate about, how does that tie into this program?
Yeah, so we have to say this is not a talent development program as such, right? This is not about finding the next superstar in South Africa and to bring him into Germany. If that happens by coincidence, then, well, we are very lucky and very happy. But first of all, this is about community engagement, right? So we want to support Amantla in their approach to empower the communities, and we want to use sports as a vehicle to promote the good values, and that is what this partnership is first and foremost about. Again, the sporting success, this is something where probably would need a different approach. If it comes by coincidence, we would be very happy.
So it's a 4-month series. How does it work? As you say, it's not professional. It's not about unearthing talent. How does it work, and who gets to play in this tournament?
Yeah, so it's the people from the townships that will participate. So actually, we will launch the whole partnership tomorrow in an event at the Safe Hub in Alexandra, where people from the community will compete against each other in tournaments. We will be there with JJ Okocha, one of our official Bundesliga legends, obviously one of the biggest African players of all time. He's here with us at the moment in Johannesburg for a number of activations, so he will be there at the Safe Hub, just as your South African former heroes here, Zuma, as well as Darren Buckley, who are also still friends of the Bundesliga and who we are doing a lot of work with. So they will be there, they will engage with the kids, they will obviously kick the ball themselves and hold motivational speeches there as well. And the idea is really to, again, shine the light on what the Amantla organization is doing. That's why we're also having SABC there as our free-to-air rights holder in South Africa. They will run a live broadcast from the venue so that everybody, again, can see what the Safe Hub is all about. We also have StarSat there as our pay-TV rights holder that does a public screening on the pitch so that everybody can enjoy Bundesliga and again come together and do sports together and have a good time.
From Bundesliga's perspective, why is this important that you get involved in such a program so far away from home?
Yeah, so it is very important for us overall to bring the Bundesliga around the world. This is why we have founded in 2017 a dedicated company, which is even called Bundesliga International. So it is our task to carry the joy of Bundesliga around the globe, and specifically in Africa. We are convinced that we have a very strong connection to the fans here. We have a huge followership on the continent. and therefore we want to come close to our fans, right? So this is something that the Bundesliga really stands for in Germany as well. Our clubs do a lot of community work in Germany. You might know that the German clubs are owned by the members. They have a strong say in how our clubs are governed, how the president is selected, all these kinds of things. And that's exactly the approach we also want to take into our international markets and also into South Africa. And that's why, again, we want to do this community work, and the Mantla is the perfect partner for us that, already has all of this existing infrastructure and the existing connections to the communities. So, it's for us, it's fan engagement, and again, it's supporting the good work that the Mantla is doing.
Are you looking at similar programs, or do you have similar programs in other parts of the African continent?
So actually, we are very proud to see Amantla also growing across the African continent. So they are just about to open as well another Safe Hub in Abidjan. Also actually partnering with one of our players who has roots in Abidjan, that's Serge Gnabry. So you see that this model is also up for scaling across the continent, but actually we have similar initiatives as well in other countries, like in Kenya, for example, where one of our clubs, TSG Hoffenheim, is very active with community work in some of the townships in Nairobi, where we empower young leaders to become role models for their peers in their communities. And, so therefore it's all about connecting to the people and, of course, doing good work as well and giving youngsters a chance. And again, talent development is one thing. The other thing is to use sport to, bring people together and let them prosper.
This partnership, as I said in my introduction, that it was launched ahead of the Bundesliga 60th celebration, a big milestone. Just tell us about that celebration and what it means for a brand as big as Bundesliga to be celebrating 60 years. I mean, definitely one of the most visible leagues in the world, and definitely one of the strongest.
Yes, indeed, 60 years, that's a long time. So Bundesliga indeed was founded in 1963. So we are celebrating at the moment all around the world in fan events, in B2B events, that particular incident. Here in South Africa, it was important for us, obviously, to do that as well with fans here, with our local stakeholders. So we had an event yesterday in Johannesburg where we brought the African perspective, particularly, into the 60 years of Bundesliga. And I think in that sense, it's important for me to mention that I always say that the African players really had a huge impact on how the Bundesliga is perceived also nowadays. So actually, the first African who ever played in the Bundesliga was a gentleman from Ghana, 1974, Ibrahim Sunday. So that's how long it also goes back. But then specifically in the late 80s and 90s, you had all these great names, like our official legend J.J. Okocha, Anthony Yeboah, Sunday Olise, Sami Kufur, Aubameyang, all these players. They had such an impact on the league because they brought sort of the joy and the entertainment into German football, which was maybe before they came in perceived a little bit, as being not so offensive in terms of the play style, rough defending, good goalkeepers, all these kind of things. So specifically JJ, I will say he brought the joy to our game. And therefore, he's still very well recognized also in Germany. So he's not only popular in Africa, I can tell you. And today, the Bundesliga is, for example, the highest goal-scoring league if we compare that to our European peers, with 3.2 goals being scored on average. And I think really, and I'm believing that the African players have a huge impact on that. Currently, we have 30 African players in our leagues, with Girassi, for example, from VfB Stuttgart being second in the goal-scoring sheet. And for example, Victor Boniface, Nigerian, is also doing very good at league leaders by Leverkusen at the moment. So there you go about the connection as well, and the huge impact that Africa or African players had in 60 years of Bundesliga.
Right, Henning, I'm going to have to leave it there. Dankeschön.
Perfect. Dankeschön. Thanks for having me.